does APR matter on a car loan if you're just going to pay the car loan off early? I'm Nate, the FitFutureMD. Upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I document how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Make sure you pick up that free nutrition and workout plan in my bio. All right, so a lot of people, they see these shiny new cars and they work hard and they're making good, what they feel like is good money, and they're like, man, I should just have this new car, right? But and most of them, they just look, oh, well, I can make this payment. That's what they present you when you go to the dealership. That's what they present you. They don't even ever, a lot of times they won't even ever show you the price of what something actually is, right? They just show you, oh, I can afford this payment. So if you can afford a $400 a month payment, then they're going to extend the term out long enough until it's a $400 a month payment, right? So the question is, if they get you in this term, and if you're gonna try to make extra payments and pay it off faster, does APR actually matter, right? Does the interest rate even matter? I'm just gonna go over like general rules on car buying first, and then I'll answer the question at the end, right? So if you're just interested in the answer to the question, you can skip to the end of the video, and that's cool. It's still a short video, so so number one, when you're going to buy a car should never be more than 1/3 of your yearly salary when you buy it, right? So if you're making $50K a year, then you shouldn't even be looking at cars more than $17,000, right? That's 1/3 of your salary. Most brand new cars now are 30,000 plus, and honestly, most of the American-made cars are 50,000 plus, right? So brand new cars, if you're making $50K a year, is just out of the question, right? Period. You can't afford it. Second, if you do end up financing a car, you never want to finance that car for more than 36 months. And I'm saying, if you sit there and do the math, right, you're going for a $17,000 car and you finance it for 36 months, if you can't afford that payment, then you can't afford that car, right? Obviously, you prefer to pay all cash, like it's 1/3 of your year's salary. Like you should be able to save 1/3 of your yearly salary, within 2 years, and buy your car outright, right? Because if you do finance the car, your goal is to pay it off as fast as possible, right? So if you're sitting there at that 1/3 spot of what you make, it should be easy to pay off that car very fast. You should be able to pay off that car within a year, 2 years max, right? If it's only 1/3 of your salary. So 50K, $8,000 a year, $8,500 a year, and 17,000 is paid off pretty easily, right? Because the whole way to get ahead in life is investing, right? Making money when you're not working, right? That's the whole idea, right? And most people are already like, well, there's less paycheck than bills at the end of the month already, right? You can't do it, And the reason for that is because of payments. You're on the wrong side of the investment, right? You're putting your money in things that depreciate in value, that cost you interest. So the item was 17 grand, you're paying 4 or 5% interest. some investor gave you the money and is getting the 4 or 5% interest without them having to work, right? So the idea is to be on the other side of that, right? Because you're going to take advantage of human behavior because we want things that we can't afford, right? And, that's the whole idea, is to be on the other side of that. So when somebody buys that new iPhone, Apple's making the money, you're an investor in Apple, you're making the money, right? That kind of idea. Same thing, Amazon, Facebook, whatever. Mortgages, you want to be on the other side of that, right? And anything you do with debt is taken away from your ability to be on the other side of that, right? Because if you're a normal worker, you're making a paycheck. Paycheck is limited. You can get second and third jobs to help you invest faster, right? But at the end of the day, 90% of people are going to be workers. They're not going to be entrepreneurs. There are some people that are entrepreneurs that have a salary and a paycheck, but the company is paying them stock in their company that they're building, right? That's called an entrepreneur. And that is supposed to incentivize you to work harder, because if you work harder, that company gets bigger, you get bigger, right? That's the idea. Now that I've explained all that, does the APR matter? Yes, it matters, because you're still going to pay some interest. So if you're sitting at a 20% APR, even though you can pay it off in a year, you're still paying 20% on whatever that time lapse was, right? So you still want to get a good APR if you can. Obviously, how these buy here, pay here car dealerships make money is they've bought a car outright. They're not going through a bank to loan you the money. They're charging you higher and making interest off the higher amount. And that's how the buy here, pay here car companies make money. And they're taking a higher risk on you because they're not running your credit. You don't have to have good credit. You really don't even have to have good money down. Most of the time, though, they want what they have in the car as a down payment, right? So if it's a buy here, pay here, the car's 10 grand, they probably got it for 4 grand. They want 4 grand down. And then they have their investment back, and really it's no risk to them if you don't pay, right? But the APR does matter. Obviously, it's not going to be the full. If you have a 36 month term, and you pay it off in a year, obviously it's going to be less than the 36 month term was supposed to be. But the APR still does matter. So you still want to try to get the lowest interest rate that you can, so that that means you have good credit. You go to a reputable dealership, they have good lines of credit, and they get you in for the price that you can afford based on the amount of car that you can afford, right? And this is the biggest thing. Just don't get into this trap of interest, right? You're on the opposite end of investing if you're paying interest, right? Even if it's a low interest rate, over time, you're paying somebody else's passive income, right? You want to be on the opposite of that. You want to be investing so that you're on that end of the passive income. I'm Nate, the FitFutureMD. Like I say, I don't recommend buying cars with payments. I recommend, saving and buying them outright, And honestly, sometimes that saving and buying them outright will get you past craziness. Like the last 2 years have been craziness with cars. If you started saving 6 months ago, you're going to you know, you're going to start in the next 6 months, you're going to start seeing cars decrease in value. And, you know, once they figure out the chip issue, you know, all these cars are going to decrease in value. People are going to get their stuff repossessed when they lose their jobs, you know, and you're going to find deals on cars. So be patient out there. You know, obviously some people get in a situation where they have to have a car right now, you know, and that's unfortunate, but don't go in there desperate. You know, be willing to look around, be willing to take Ubers, you know, until you find the right deal. You know, think logically, think ahead, you know, prepare for your success. I'm Nate, the FitFutureMD. Make sure you like, follow, and comment if this video helped you. Ask me any questions down below so that, you know, I can answer them for you. If you don't feel comfortable asking your question below, you can always email me. I will email you back. I email everyone back. So thank you guys for following along, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.